Greetings, Poke fans. Welcome back to Poke Relaxing. Today we have an emergency broadcast. I was shocked today to discover that Sam's Club has a new product that was, as far as I can tell, completely and totally unknown to the world of Pokemon collectors and investors. I had heard nothing about this. Maybe you have, but I have to tell you, I follow very closely multiple streams of content, relating to Pokemon investment, stocks, restocks, and product availability. And I had heard absolutely zero about this product. In fact, this was discovered while looking for the Sea and Sky products with Crown Zenith in it, and still no sign of that, unfortunately, at my local Sam's Club. But, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Paldean Fates slash Pokeball 3-pack, which was $27.99 for what ends up being 7 packs. I believe that's just under $4. Yeah, basically exactly $4 per pack. Now, if you were getting kind of an assortment of Scarlet and Violet era packs for $4, still at this point would be a decent deal. If they're in a sealed product, obviously you're buying loose off of TCG Players, something like that. Less interesting of a deal, but in sealed form, that's probably an okay deal. But these are not just any Scarlet and Violet packs. The 2 tins in here are Paldean Fates mini tins, which, by the way, I've been seeing a bunch of those at, well, I've been seeing, but I have seen a bunch of these, well, actually twice I've seen them at my local Target, and that suggests that they're, I don't know, they've got a bunch of these they're trying to get out into the marketplace, which is great. It's a wonderful set. It's one of my favorite sets. It's a very popular and valuable set. But anyways, you get 2 of these mini tins, and I want to take you over real quick to TCG Player. And here we are at TCG Player. I search for Paldean Fates mini tins, and if you go down, you'll see, I think these, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are the ones from this product. The one with Moushold is the most valuable, followed by Kyogre. The one I'm looking at right here has Moushold and this one, Tinkatank. So basically the cheapest of these is like $12. It's kind of crazy to me that like any of these are worth more than the other, but there actually is a premium for which Pokemon is on the cover. But anyways, safe to call these tins $15 tins. So right there, you get 2 of these tins for $27.99. The value of the tins is $30. Again, this one's gonna raise that higher because it's one of the more valuable ones. So you get those. That's basically more than the value or more than the cost of the product. And then you get 3 more packs in the Pokeball here. And I have no idea what Pokeball this is. I know there's a bunch of Pokeballs that sold out recently on Pokemon Center, and those were ones that had some pretty solid Sword and Shield era packs. I'm gonna guess these are gonna be all Scarlet and Violet, but I think that's a big question for this. If there is, Scarlet and Violet base, definitely the least interesting pack. Although honestly, that's growing on me. There's a lot of cards I really like in there, and I actually just bought 6 booster boxes that may or may not come in a case. I'm not sure. I ordered from just an online independent seller. Um, but yeah, so this is an H24, and I could look this up. A while ago, I posted a link to a Google spreadsheet where somebody was kind enough to track all of the different like tins and Pokeballs and map the products that are inside. So I could look that up, but I'd rather have a little bit of a mystery here. So I want to see what's in here. And again, if there is like Sword and Shield, and especially if there's any, you know, Lost Origin, Fusion Strike type sets in these, then this product is a banger. I mean, it's a banger regardless, because Paldean Fates is so good, and you know, not cheap right now, and only getting less cheap the longer we go in time. But if there's good packs in here, we're looking at gravy, because I always like to press that. I don't know why. Okay, so I think it's going to be Scarlet and Violet era stuff exclusively, but we'll see. And again, at $4 a pack, still, you know, very solid deal. So we've got Obsidian Flames, SV base, unfortunately, I would say, and then another SV base. So we kind of have the three, or, you know, after Scarlet and Violet, Obsidian Flames is definitely the next worst in this era, but I mean, you know, I'm trying to think what these go for, like in booster boxes. So it's like booster box. By the way, I want to talk a little bit. So in booster boxes, a pack of Obsidian Flames is going to be $4.44. So you're still getting a premium over that in a sealed product, and even if you break, you know, this 3-pack up, you've still got 3 sealed products, you know, to hold on to and collect and sell. If maybe you just want the Paldean Fates and you want to open those and just keep these sealed, probably get a premium selling them, you know, as a sealed product. But, you know, break them open, have at it. It's another option. So anyways, check out your Sam's Club, folks, because these are not going to last very long, I'll tell you that. And I did not foresee, nor did anybody that I follow foresee, a sudden infusion of Paldean Fates into the market through these Sam's Club products. So, you know, this is going to drive probably the price of Paldean Fates down a bit, you know, until these are sold out, but I mean, that's going to be very quick. The weird thing about Sam's Club is, they seem to not be in any kind of coordinated schedule. You know, my Sam's Club will stock a month, you know, this kind of product a month later or earlier than your Sam's Club. So it's just hard to know. You see, I mean, I see people posting all the time like, oh, we got Sea and Sky at my Sam's Club, and there's just nothing at mine. So it's a little hard to predict. I mean, your best bet is to maybe talk to somebody there who stocks like the toy department, or somewhere close to that area, just, I don't know, snacks or something, and see if they have any idea, if they've heard of, you know, Pokemon products coming to the shelves. Why the hell? Oh, I have this camera like oriented the opposite direction of normally, so I'm like off to one side here. But in any event, we'll get through these packs. So the other thing I wanted to mention just briefly, this is going to be a short video because I'm doing this in the middle of the day when normally I don't, because I have a lot of work stuff to do, and I do need to get to that. But I did want to make sure I throw these out. I did want to get this kind of up as soon as humanly possible. That's what she said, because I've just never heard of anybody mentioning these Paldean Fate mini tins showing up in Sam's Club. So I want everybody to, I want my 23 loyal subscribers to have this information before anybody else. But the other thing I did want to talk about was, I was at a card show this weekend. I actually had a table. I had 2 tables at this card show. I think we're going to strike out here. Yeah. Nothing in these SV. and Obsidian Flames packs. But I think I want to keep this one because this sells for like $5 more than the others. Keep that one sealed. So yeah, I hadn't done a card show in a while. It's been hard to get tables at the one that's kind of regular where I am. So I wasn't really sure what it was going to be like. The last one that I was at was the same organizer, but it was like much bigger. There was like a bigger room for it, and there was more tables, and I don't know that necessarily attracted more people, but I kind of felt like maybe it did. So that one was pretty good. I was kind of surprised for a one-day show how much, activity there was. But I didn't know if that was going to have, if that would have died down at this point or not. I mean, the sports card market feels kind of like it's treading water right now. So, I don't know how many people are coming up for sports cards. Pokemon markets, obviously, it's way hotter now than it was at the time I did the last show. So I wasn't sure, because this show that I go to every month or a month and a half or so, like, it doesn't have very many people selling Pokemon. I took my kids there at the last one, and there was like 2 dealers that had Pokemon, and one was just like a rip-off, like artist, like they were just selling everything for way more than it was worth. The other one was just kind of didn't have much unopened, and they had older stuff that I just wasn't interested in, either with my kids. So we got an EX base, I think. So that made me think, like, maybe other people who collect Pokemon are not going to be going to this show because there just wasn't much there for Pokemon the last time I went. So, oh, awesome. So this Charizard ends up being not nearly as valuable these days because it's in like a battle deck product, and you get like 4 of them or something. But once upon a time, it was like a $6 to $8 card, and I like to have it. It's probably a $2 card at this point, but I'm a Charizard collector, so I don't mind having as many of those as I can pull. So anyways, I wasn't really sure if Pokemon was going to be busy. I mean, I know it's very hot generally, but I thought maybe it'd just be a bunch of sports cards guys primarily there. But let me tell you 2 things. First of all, the Pokemon collectors were definitely there. I had a lot of activity from Pokemon collectors. I actually met some really cool people who were into Pokemon and who ended up having a lot of really cool cards that I ended up buying. And I'm going to do a video kind of showing you the stuff that I bought, because I'm pretty excited actually about a bunch of that stuff. So plenty of Pokemon people, even though I feel like they get kind of short shrift by the organizer of this show. I mean, I don't think he really, first of all, it doesn't really market it. So you just kind of have to, I don't know, happen upon it. And when he does market it, like, he's got a sign, outside the hotel for a week before where it's at, and kind of draws some people in that way. But it doesn't really mention like Pokemon very much, so it's like possible you could see it, be a Pokemon collector, and not know that it has Pokemon cards. So anyway, so plenty of Pokemon people there. I think if you ever in my city organized a Pokemon card show or TCG card show, you'd have like a ton of people there, I think, because I just don't think like the vast majority of folks know about this card show, but plenty of them did, so that it was busy as far as selling Pokemon products. The other thing I will say is every sports card collector, not every, but a lot of sports card collectors have really started to realize, this Pokemon thing is probably something you got to get into if you have a shop, if you sell at shows, if you sell it online. Like, you've got to get into it at this point, because there's just a ton of opportunity, there's a ton of excitement, and there's a ton of overlap right now between the markets, given that sports card shows are kind of where a lot of people go, especially in smaller cities like myself. That's where people go to get Pokemon. So you're going to have a lot of people at the sports card shows you have tables at that are looking for Pokemon. If you don't have any, you're losing an opportunity. So I spoke to a lot of longtime sports card dealers at the show when I was setting up, and they're like, "Oh wow, I see you got a lot of Pokemon. Yeah, I'm trying to get some." and several of them had like a little bit, like maybe they got some prismatic, and this is the phenomenon that is really making it hard to get products at distribution, where everybody who's got a distribution account because of their sports card business is now trying to pick up some Pokemon as well. I mean, that's kind of what I did a year ago. I was a bit early compared to most sports card dealers, but now every sports card dealer is trying to get Pokemon because they're not dumb. They're pretty smart. They know what's hot. They know what can sell easily. And if you can get Pokemon from your distributor, you can sell it at 2x profit over what you paid for it all day long. And they're trying to pick up as much as they can. So even the sports card people, and I talked to a friend of mine who I know has been a long-time sports card collector, does a ton of like Bowman, Bowman Draft, Bowman Chrome stuff. He showed me some really cool cards, I gotta say, man. He's pulled so many of like the top Bowman autos just from opening boxes and boxes of this stuff. I mean, he must be losing his shirt, but really cool cards to look at. Anyways, he's getting into Pokemon now, and had all these questions for me. So, anyways, long story short, if you're in a big city and you can go to like a Collecticon or something similar, I mean, that's where the action's at with Pokemon. But if you're like probably 80 to 90% of the country and you don't live in a big city, you're going to have to go to a sports card show, and these sports card shows are going to have to adapt to, to serve the people who are looking for Pokemon, as I've, started to see, and I started to do, before most of the sports card dealers that I see out there. So, anyways, I guess the net of it is really great show, tons of traffic. I mean, it sold us a fair amount of sports cards, but the action was definitely in Pokemon. And I think I sold about, 80% of what I brought. By the end of the day, like, there was scraps on the table, and very little, very little left. I will also say Pokemon singles. I put out maybe 25 cards from my binder, and like half of them sold, and everybody who walked by kind of looked at them, at least if they didn't buy some. So super active there. Yeah, I don't know. It's a great time to be in the market as a seller. And I was shocked. I didn't know what to expect, but I was really surprised at how busy it was. The entire day, it was busy. It really reminded me of the 90s when I used to collect back in the kind of early to mid 90s as a kid, which was so like fun and energizing as a collector back then. I mean, obviously a very different human being as a child than I am now, but I'm sure for the adults that were at those shows, it was just as fun or almost as fun for them as it was for me as a kid, and just having so much opportunity to buy and sell and trade your cards and get what you want, whether it be sealed, whether it be singles from the modern era, singles from the old era, singles from whatever. I don't know. It's just really fun and exciting, and I just feel like I couldn't be happier with how things are, and I hope, I hope things kind of level out. Like, it's a little easier to get product in the future, and you kind of have to, hold it for at least a year before things start to go up. I think that would be healthier. I don't think that reprinting like old sets into the ground is very healthy. So I kind of hope that doesn't happen. But I do think for new products, I think if they just keep ramping up, gradually each set until it seems like, there's enough, and then they plan to ramp down when things inevitably die off, because they will. And then, have a healthy hobby in a year that's just, I don't know, 20-30% larger than it was a year ago. I mean, I think that's the goal in any industry. You want steady, sustainable, long-term growth. You don't want, sudden doubling of the market overnight, and, these kind of like tulip markets, tulip bulb markets, if you know what that means. That's not so healthy. I mean, you can't control that stuff, because a lot of that's just dependent upon just weird factors like people getting a bunch of COVID money and being trapped in their homes, or people just suddenly getting the idea that Pokemon is like this investment they should pull all their 401k money into, and it's sort of snowballing. You can't really control that. So I think you want to, hopefully, if you're the Pokemon company, make decisions that are healthy for the long term and not addressing sort of wacky, like random occurrences in the market. And I think the Pokemon market was very healthy before all of this. So I hope it, is as healthy when a lot of the people who are not terribly interested in being in it long term are gone. Folks, that we got for today. I hope everybody's doing well. I got to get some work done. I will see you all next time. Until then, stay relaxed,